Hey everyone, Steven from Straight Fire Picks. We got best bets for NFL Week 7 on Sunday, October 23rd, 2022. We're going to have NFL player props, spreads, over-unders, money lines here for you today. We're going to have 5 picks that are great value bets for the Sunday NFL slate. As always, just want to thank you all for your continued support here on the channel. If you're new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Reminder here at the channel, guys, that we are partnered with Prize Picks, so be sure to use our code SFP for a 100% deposit match and your first deposit up to $100 on Prize Picks. You can also use one of our links that we have down below in the comment section and description. Really is a great app, guys. It specializes in player props and things of that nature. You can put multiple picks into an entry to win a lot of money, and it really is a lot of fun to use. So I highly encourage you to check that out, guys. Our user code SFP or one of our links that we have below. Be sure to also check out our community Discord page as well. Great place to connect with our community and to get new ideas for bets. We'll also have a link in the comment section and description for that. Be sure to also drop your favorite pick down below in the comment section. If you like your pick included in our comment capper section, just be sure to put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and we'll include your pick in the video if it hits. Okay, now it's time for a shout out to our Straight Fire MVPs. So as always, guys, you see this beautiful list here running beside me of all of our Straight Fire MVPs. If you're interested in becoming a Straight Fire MVP, there's a join button down below. We'll also have a link in the comment section and description for that. Just a great way to support the channel and what we do here at the channel. It's just $3.99 per month. You get access to our picks early, badge next to your name, some custom emojis, roll call in the Discord, and shout outs in our videos. And like I said, it's just more of a great way to support the channel and what we do here at the channel. Okay, now results, guys, from the previous weekend. So for our comment cappers, this is what I had from last Sunday's, the results from last Sunday or Sunday afternoon games. We had Travis Hortman calling the Kyle Juszczyk over 8.5 receiving yards. Was able to cash that, so great call out there from Travis. As far as the stream results, we ended up going 3-2. Was actually a winning week. Sunday in general was a pretty solid day. We ended up going 5-2 on Sunday. We were able to cash the Buffalo Bills -2.5 spread. And we also cashed our player props in the video as well. Breece Hall over on the rushing yards and Justin Jefferson over on receiving yards. We cashed both of those. We actually went 4-0 on our player props that day. But since that day, I've been really cold. It's been a really tough week for me between NBA and NFL. Looking for a bounce back here on Sunday. I think we got 5 lined up that I'm pretty confident in. Really want to get after it this week, guys. Really want to get this done and do well. Trying to think what other pick. We had the Cowboys +6.5. Easily could have hit that bet. Cowboys missed the late field goal. If they made the field goal, would have covered the 6.5. Rush actually brought them back in the second half after a horrible first half. Got down 20-0, brought it all the way back. Really should have covered that game, but they did not. So we're gonna get back after it today, though, guys. We're gonna get this 5-0. Let's get right into our picks here for today. At number 1. We are going with my Detroit Lions +6.5 spread here versus the Dallas Cowboys -106 odds here on FanDuel. So guys, believe it or not, my 2 teams, the Buffalo Bills, Detroit Lions, 2 of the best spread teams in the NFL since 2021. They really are. They're actually 2 really good spread teams. So I don't know why I'm always afraid to take them. I'm like, because they feel like homer picks every time I take them. But got some good rationale here, I think, for why I like this pick. We got Dak Prescott, obviously, here coming back for the Cowboys. But here coming into this game, guys, Lions are 14-8 against the spread since the start of 2021. So we talked about how good that they've been at covering spreads, especially plus spreads, right? That's been one of their specialties, bigger spreads. This would qualify, right? 6.5 is quite a bit of points here on the Lions. Cowboys have also been a great spread team as well. 17-7 against the spread, but just 7-5 against the spread at home. They don't play quite up to their competition as much at home. A lot of that came from last year with Dak Prescott in the lineup, and even week 1 when he played. So I've always been very skeptical of Dak Prescott, guys. You guys will know this. I've been touting Cooper Rush ever since he came in, pretty much. But I think here, Dak's definitely going to have a little bit of rust here coming back his first week back. And even when he wasn't rusty, I wasn't the most confident in Dak Prescott. Now, the one thing the Cowboys are doing that they should have been doing all along last year, they're running the football more, which they should be doing that. They should continue to do that here versus Detroit. But I think Detroit can cover here. They're coming out of a bye week. And last year, they came out of the bye week, first year there with Dan Campbell. They actually came out and played pretty well. They tied the Steelers in Pittsburgh 16-16. That was really their best performance of the season to date of that season. They came out and tied the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. I don't necessarily have Detroit winning this game. I honestly don't think they'll win. I do think they'll cover, though. I think Detroit will be able to run the football in this game. I think that's the big thing I'm looking for. We're getting DeAndre Swift back. This offensive line is really good for Detroit. I mean, really good. They're top 5 really in all of football. They have one of the best O-lines in all of football. This is just a well-known thing. I think they'll be able to run the football here with DeAndre Swift coming back. I think they'll provide a nice boost for them. It should get Jared Goff in some better situations, right? If you can run the football, it could really set up what Goff could do. It's going to be in more of a dome where Goff really plays better anyway. You get Goff in any type of elements. He just doesn't honestly have hands big enough that can grip a football. But we don't have to worry about any of that because he's inside. I feel a lot more comfortable with Jared Goff indoors. I know it sounds weird, but it's just something that I've observed with him being our Lions quarterback. Like I said, Dak's going to have to shake off some rust here. Solid matchup for Detroit here. You know, the Cowboys also are not very good against they haven't been great against the run. They're allowing over 120 yards, rushing yards per game. So I think the Lions here can run the football on this Cowboys team. I think they'll be able to win the battle actually up front in the run game. And that's really what Detroit can do to keep this game close. And beyond that, should set up some looks down the field for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then we can see Dak Prescott be a little bit rusty in the early part of this game. But Detroit's also going to come out prepared coming off the bye week. So do love it there, guys, for our number 1 pick. We're going with Detroit Lions plus 6.5 spread here versus the Dallas Cowboys. Minus 110 odds, or minus 106 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 2, we are going with the Atlanta Falcons plus 6.5 spread here versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Minus 107 odds here on PointsBet. So, guys, the Falcons are the only undefeated team against the spread this season. They're 6-0 against the spread this year. That is absolutely remarkable. Bengals coming in 4-2 against the spread, also pretty solid. But what the Falcons have here that I really like, you know, with some, again, pretty big plus points here. They have a running game that's been very, very good. They've been racking up over 165 rushing yards per game. That's 3rd in the NFL. The running game has been virtually unstoppable. They've been running the ball very, very good. And I think when you're talking about, you know, a spread like this where you have 6.5 points, you want to be able to run that football, burn that clock, keep this game close, keep it, you know, where it comes down to one possession, which is what I think Atlanta could do. I think Atlanta's been pretty solid about taking care of the football. They're +2 in the turnover category, which you'll love to see that. Mariota's actually played very steady and very good at quarterback here for the Falcons. Last week, really a pretty complete performance for him. Only threw the ball 14 times, so he's 13 out of 14. Ran the ball good, too, up over 50 yards rushing. So he's really actually doing a solid job managing this offense. And that's really all we're asking for here from the Falcons. Don't turn the football over. Run the football. Play good enough defense here to cover, which is what I think we could get here. Because this Bengals offense, honestly, even though they got Joe Burrow and all these weapons, I don't trust them, really. They've looked off in just about every game. Now, last game, if you recall last week versus the Saints, they turned it on late to win that game. They were trailing most of that game, pretty much all of that game. And Burrow hit some deep, late passes, but up until that point, once again, you know, it was an okay offensive performance, but it wasn't. We're not seeing dominance from the Cincinnati Bengals on both sides. You know, we're seeing either the defense play well or maybe their offense will play well, but we're not seeing it all click together here for Cincinnati. And I think that's the biggest thing right now. Like I said, 20th in total offense right now. That doesn't scare me, right? And even their defense, they're 13th in total defense, which isn't bad, but they're 20th versus the run, which is exactly what Atlanta's going to do this game. They're going to run the football. And that is really right now, if the Bengals had a weakness on defense, that's it right now. You can run the football on this team. That's really the biggest thing for Atlanta right now. They want to run the football. As far as these teams, as far as strength of schedule and performance, they're actually both comparable. Falcons are 13th in total DVOA this year. The Bengals are 12th in DVOA. So that factors in your schedule and things like that. And really both these teams, you know, as far as the performance goes right now, in about the same breath when you put it all together. So we know Cincinnati's a more talented team. We know at the end of the day, Cincinnati's a better football team when they're right. But right now, Atlanta's confident. Atlanta's been playing pretty hard. They won last week versus a very good San Francisco team. And I think, once again, I think they'll be able to cover the spread. It's a pretty big spread here on the road. Run that football. Might come down to a field goal here in Cincinnati. So do love it there for our number 2 pick. We're going with the Atlanta Falcons plus 6.5 spread here versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Minus 107 odds here on PointsBet. Okay, and at number 3, we are going with Breece Hall. Over 71.5 rushing yards here for the New York Jets. Minus 115 odds here on Bet Rivers. Guys, starting running backs have racked up 281 yards on 5.3 yards per carry the last 3 weeks versus the Denver Broncos. And on top of that, the Broncos have both their defensive tackles questionable for this game. So obviously we like to see that. Even if they play, they're a little banged up, which could slow them down, which I like to see that. And right now, the Broncos really having some of the similar problems that they had last year. They're having trouble stopping the run, really allowing a lot of yards per carry. And right now, Breece Hall is just starting to turn it on, right? He's a rookie. He's really playing well. He went over 100 yards for the first time last week. He had 97 the week before, 66 the week before that. He's really been up in his game. Actually, if you go back all the way from week 1, he's been steadily getting more carries every single week since week 1. Week 1 he had 6, week 2 7, week 3 8, week 4 17, week 5 18, week 6 20. So we love to see that. This guy gets anywhere in the 20 carry category. Obviously, I think he's going to cash this line. This line did jump up quite a bit from when we cashed it last week. We did cash on this last week. But I still like it, guys. This is another great matchup here versus the Broncos. Broncos have not been defending the run very good lately. And Breece Hall averaging 93 rushing yards per game over the last 3 weeks. He's also averaging 5.1 yards per carry for the season. So even when he was getting a low amount of touches, he's still got a very nice yards per carry average. And with Zach Wilson back, they've really been running the football more, which makes sense. Zach Wilson's still a young quarterback. You don't want to put him in any harm. And it's been working. Jets are 4-2 right now. And a lot of the reason for that is the fact that they're committing to this running game. The last 3 weeks, like I said, Breece Hall 17 plus carries the last 3 weeks. That'll get you some wins. So honestly, I think that's the big thing I'm seeing with the Jets right now. They're committing to the running game, and Breece Hall's really taking advantage. And I think here's still a pretty reasonable line for him. So do love it there, guys, for a number 3 pick. We're going Breece Hall over 71.5 rushing yards here for the New York Jets. Minus 115 odds here on Bet Rivers. Okay, and at number 4, we are going Brian Robinson. Over 50.5 rushing yards here for the Washington Commanders. Minus 105 odds here on PointsBet. So, guys, you'll recall Robinson, his first week, he came back from the gunshot wound that he suffered, early in the preseason there. And 9 carries his first week, which honestly I thought was significant. I thought that was actually a good bit of carries for just his first week. Then we saw him break out with 17 carries last week, right? So obviously we like to see it. He had 60 yards, so he obviously went over last week. I think if he gets anywhere near 15 carries, I think we'll cash this line again. This is another great matchup for him. They're playing against the Packers here, who have really struggled against the run. They've allowed the 7th most rushing yards this season and the 8th highest yards per carry average so far on the season. So obviously we like to see that. I think Robinson, especially with Heineke now in there, Carson Wentz got injured. So Heineke stepping in, might have some rust on him. Look for the Commanders to try to commit to that running game. Obviously, you don't ever want to get in a shootout with Aaron Rodgers. Although the Packers' offense has not been very good lately, so I guess you could get into a shootout. I don't see a shootout happening there up in that game. But obviously, Commanders should commit to the run here with Robinson. He looks like he's taking over this backfield. Just the fact that he got 17 carries last week. The Commanders really want to go to this guy right now. Gibson's kind of starting to be more of an afterthought, and that's even representative in their lines. Gibson's line is 20.5, and we got Robinson here at 50.5. So they want him to be their back, right? And so look for him to really take over here versus the struggling Green Bay run defense. And Heineke, like I said, just getting back. Coordinators could be leaning on the run a little bit more here until Heineke shakes off some of this rust. And I'm looking for, Robinson to break a big one. I think eventually he's going to break a big one. He's out of Alabama. Alabama breeds the running backs really well, guys. We know Najee Harris, Derrick Henry. It's a very physical, where they come from in the SEC. So I think Robinson is built obviously to run the football. He's a great back. And I think here, this is a very manageable line for him. Like this line really all the way up into the mid-50s. Other books might have this 52.5, 54.5. Take your best line where you can get it. Do love it there, though, guys, for a number 4 pick. We're going Brian Robinson, over 50.5 rushing yards here for the Washington Commanders. Minus 105 odds on PointsBet. Okay, and finally at number 5, we're taking the under 43.5 points here in the Giants-Jaguars game. Minus 110 odds here on FanDuel. Guys, really, the defenses have been the story here for both of these teams. The Giants are 8th in points allowed. The Jaguars are 9th in points allowed. So, really, these defenses have played pretty solid up until this point. It really has a lot to do with the Giants' 5-1 record. They've really keyed up on defense when they've needed it. And I think here, neither of these offenses really scares me. The offenses both could use some work. The Giants are, 19th. Jags 16th in points scored per game. So, both these offenses can be stopped pretty easily. Obviously, both young quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones. And right now, like I said, these defenses are playing really solid. As far as our pace of play goes, I also like what our pace of play is at here, too. Giants take the 12th most seconds per play. Jaguars take the 15th most seconds per play. So, it's not like these are two crazy up-tempo teams. We could see them, burn some of that play clock down, which is what we want to see. We want to see both teams run the football. That would help us out. And honestly, when you look at it, both these teams love to run the football too. Giants are 29th in pass to run percentage, which we love to see that. And Jaguars are 22nd in pass to run percentage. So both these teams, obviously, if you flip that around, both are in the top 10 for running the football. Basically, commit more to the run percentage as far as that goes. Obviously, that keeps their clock moving. Giants games so far, 4-2 to the under this season. Now, Jaguars games just 2-4 to the under. But like I said, with both these teams going head-to-head, both defenses could play. And both offenses are very average. That'd be the nicest way to put it. They're very average. Daniel Jones has played solid lately. I would definitely say that. But it's not like he's going to hang 40 on you. You don't got to worry about that. So, do love it there, guys, though, for our number 5 pick. We're going under 43.5 points here in the Giants-Jaguars game. Minus 110 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, guys, that is going to do it for our picks. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Guys, I really need this Sunday to go well. We had a solid Sunday last Sunday. Went 5-2 last Sunday in the NFL. So, let's do something like that again. Let's get this 5-0 sweep. We really got to get things rolling. I want to do really well. We got to do well. I'm confident we're going to do well. But like I said, manage your bankroll. Make sure you're not going too heavy on any one play. I really want us to get on track and really be rolling before we're going crazy on any plays. But appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the support. Check out all of our links. Other than that, guys, that is going to do it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you next time. Peace out.